Yeah.
Okay, I feel like most people cut some, like you pretty much right there.
A lot of people cut, but we try not to.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you try to fight at your close to your walk around?
We just don't see, the point in cutting weight when I'm good enough to beat everybody at my walk around.
Talk that talk. I like it.
I don't see the reason. So
talk that talk, man. It's Reggie with Box Talk, where fighters rise in value. I'm finally get to stay in the state of Georgia, and we're at $1 Billion Boxing Gym. I'm here with my boy Mac. We're about to learn all about him. For everyone meeting you for the first time, who is Maclin Whiting?
My name's Maclin Whiting. I'm a 10-time national champion, fighting out of Atlanta, Georgia. And this is just what I love to do, man. I love to box. No, that's it.
10-time national champion. That's crazy. How did you first fall in love with the sport?
Man, to be honest, it was like I just had kind of tried everything, from basketball, football, everything. There was nothing I really loved. And when I got into boxing, I just liked the grind of it being, a solo sport. And I love to win. So,
okay.
Yeah,
So, in the very beginning, I want to make sure that people know that Box Talk talks to those guys that are those guys.
Right.
So what have you done in the sport of boxing so far?
I've won every major national from JOs to the December Nationals. I've won Silver Gloves 3 years in a row. I've fought all the best guys, been in there with everybody, so kind of done it all.
Who introduced you to the sport?
To be honest, man, it was kind of nobody. I watched the movie Creed, and after trying all the other sports, couldn't really find nothing I liked, and then just took me into a gym, got me training, and I fell in love with it from there.
Was it Creed 1 or what was it?
I believe it's the second one. I want to say it was the second one.
What was it about the movie that made you want to do it?
I don't know. It was just I just thought it was a good movie, and it was entertaining, and I like fighting, so
yeah,
I want to give it a try.
So were you fighting before you started boxing?
I wasn't fighting. I have no background, no family.
You weren't fighting in the streets or anything?
No street fights,
really?
None of that. So that was it.
What made you believe you could become an elite fighter?
To be honest, I just knew I had work ethic and I could stay disciplined and keep working and working towards my goals over anything, even when I was taking losses.
What's one moment in your career that you'll never forget?
Never forget, for sure, my first national, man. After being, taking early losses and all that, to winning my first national, losing a couple national tournaments before that was definitely a big step in my confidence and just everything in general.
So what changed from you losing to becoming one of those ones?
Man, that's a good question. To be honest, I think I was always kind of working hard. I think it was just a breakthrough moment of confidence, mainly to get my first win, and then from there be confident enough to keep fighting my best and doing what I knew I could do.
So now we're going to ask you a little bit of my favorite questions, right? Your first day in the gym, what was that like?
Man, to be honest, my first day in the gym was terrible. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really?
Because, man, it was a class, it wasn't a private session, it was a class, and it was on a strength and conditioning day. So it was all a bunch of running and strength, and it was terrible for me for the first day. But then my first real day, really learning boxing and the fundamentals and stuff, that was cool, for sure. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it was different and interesting to me, learning everything.
So again, I think I might have asked you, but what made you start again? How did you get into the sport?
Oh yeah, man, I had nothing, nothing I liked, team sports, football, basketball, none of that. Then I watched the movie Creed and started from there.
So you went from no sports to the most difficult, grueling sport that there is. That's what's up, man. So we talked about your first day in the gym.
Right.
Even more of my favorite question. What was your first day sparring like?
Sparring? I'm not gonna lie, I think I got beat up my first day. I don't know if I remember it too well, but I do. Because they had threw me in with a kid that was 20, 30 pounds bigger. I got beat up, I'm not gonna lie, but it was fun getting in the ring for the first time.
So when you first sparred, how long had you been in the gym?
I was maybe in the gym for 3 days.
Oh, so they put you in there early.
Like early, straight away. Yeah.
Okay. And then like you were 8 years old?
8 years old, yeah.
Okay. So when you got beat up for the first time, what made you go back, right?
You know, I'm a competitive person and I don't like to lose, you know, even if I think it's sparring and practice. I just don't like to lose anything in general. So I wanted to get back and get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So a 10-time national champion.
Yeah, yes,
so
sir.
you got to be that guy. What is your style like?
To be honest, I can kind of mix it up, you know. I can do everything. I like to move and box and, you know, keep it clean.
Yeah.
For sure.
So if you compared your style to someone in the pros, who would the closest person be as a current fighter right now?
Man, as a current fighter, that's tough. Current, I don't know. I would say all the time, a little bit like Pacquiao maybe. I watch a lot of him. I study him a lot, for sure.
Yeah.
But current, I don't know. That's tough, but I don't know.
Okay. We might come back to that one. When did you realize that boxing was more than just a hobby for you?
Man, to be honest, probably after, you know, when I had my first fight and I realized how much I like to win and you know, that feeling and being so consistent in the gym and taking so much time.
Okay. So you said that you won your first fight?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If people are looking at you right now, I know they're probably like, you know, people probably just can't put like a finger on it.
Right.
So your heritage. You mentioned that you're half Korean.
Right, yes, sir.
Tell us about your family background.
So yeah, I'm half Korean. My mom is from Korea. She was born in Korea, so that whole side is Korean.
Okay. Have you ever been there?
I haven't been. I want to go though.
Okay.
I want to go for sure.
How has your Korean heritage shaped who you are?
I think it's, you know, shaped who I am, just making me unique, you know, looking different, being different, you know. There's not many Korean American boxers, you know, for sure, and just also helping me connect with different types of people.
Yeah.
You know?
So with you being that, right, do you feel like people have treated you differently from like what you've kind of seen? Is it harder for you to kind of like click with certain people?
I think, you know, if you are different, there's always going to be times you are treated differently, but yeah, so probably a little bit.
You said you want to connect with people in Korea. Right. Why is that so important to you?
That's important to me because I just want to connect with my background and my, you know, people, you know, especially not being many Korean boxers. It's a big, you know, fan base there for sure. Okay, so right now you said that you're 15? Yes, sir.
So in 2028, by the time the Olympics come around, how old will you be? Will it be 18 or will you be 17?
I'll be 17. I'll be a year too young.
Oh, yeah,
I'm at the worst time.
Do you hope to inspire Korean American kids to go into boxing?
Definitely. You know, it's not a big sport for, you know, Koreans, so I think if I were able to inspire people, that'd be, you know, big and important to me.
Okay. So we're gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit, right? I kind of want to ask this question now that it's on my mind. So your goals, right? Like with you being really, really, really good.
Right.
What is it? Is it you waiting for the Olympics or you going pro?
No, I'm always, you know, open to the Olympics. It's tough because I'd be 21. So I'm always open to it, but my end goal for sure is to be world champ, you know, definitely.
Just to be a boxer in general, you're broke until you're rich, basically. So you have to love the sport. This is more than a fleeting feeling like motivation kind of comes and goes.
Right.
But boxing, you can't play it. You got to be all in or it's going to show in the ring, whether now or later. So with that type of dedication, you've been committed to boxing since you were 8 years old. What has kept you so dedicated all these years?
Oh man, the thing is for me, I just like having something to, you know, work towards and get better at and just have, you know, a goal in life and stuff to strive to be better for sure. Okay,
so again, you're 15 years old. What gives you that grown man kind of like thinking pattern? Like, how are you thinking so far in the future when you're only this young?
That's a good question, man. To be honest, I'm just super, you know, competitive. Like, I don't like to think about losing even, you know, years down the line. In general, I just don't want to lose, period.
So is there like any guys who are older than you that are kind of like steering you, like when it's kind of hard for you? Like, do you have anybody that's kind of,
My parents, for sure.
Okay.
My parents play a big factor. You know, my mom, you know, taking care of all the at-home stuff and keeping me motivated there. My dad with the coaching and training, all that definitely helps.
So You mentioned that with the dad and the training. So is your dad your trainer?
Oh yeah, my dad took on the trainer role about 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
Oh, okay. So that's new.
Yeah, it's new.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, that's very interesting.
Right.
What sacrifices have you made the most that people don't know about?
I would say that people don't know about is just the social aspect, you know, having to go homeschool, like you can't, you know, when you box, you can't be out with girls and out with your friends all the time. You're always in the gym. So I think that's a big sacrifice, a factor.
All right, so from an older guy to a younger guy,
right,
they always gonna be there, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't get caught up. I'm trying to tell you, cause so like you want to make weight, get a girlfriend and like make her break your heart. You know, like, you're gonna get down to 101. You know what I mean? So just they always gonna be there. So focus on you right now. They gonna be there whenever you need them, right? What does a normal training week look like for you?
You know, I'm probably running about every day. You know, whether it's sprints or distance, I'm trying to run about every day. We're in the gym 6 to 7 days a week, you know, maybe a day off, but normally, you know, I'm in the gym all day.
So, you know, like everybody kind of has their own kind of style to training.
Right.
Do y'all do anything that's like a little, people might look at it and be like, that's kind of weird, you know?
We do a lot of shadow boxing, for sure. Like, we do, you know, 10 rounds of shadow boxing basically every day. I think that's a very important thing people, you know, kind of skip over and not lazy shadow boxing, you know, like focus, I think is important.
So it seems like you guys here are big on like building a foundation, right? Because in the ring, when it gets really, really tough, you're gonna go for what you know, right? Definitely. So like if you are constantly just drilling this over and over and over, you're gonna still go back to that even when nothing else is working. For sure. Right? So like that's pretty dope. I mean, you got some great teachers here.
Definitely.
What do you do on days when you don't feel like training?
You know, I mean, there's a lot of days, you know, you don't feel like it, but I think it's just those are the days you got to work, you know, the hardest and stay consistent, because it's, you know, easy to train when you want to. It's, you know, those days that are important.
So with you having a bunch of guys that are like close to your age range here, does that help you when you feel like you're kind of missing something out? Like you got the guys who are just your same age kind of going through the same thing? Yeah,
definitely. It's helpful, makes it a lot more, you know, fun, involved being around, you know, guys like my friends and all that. You know, it's definitely very cool, especially when they all great fighters as well, to, you know, help push each other.
What's one habit you've developed that separates you from other fighters?
I think just the discipline of always being in shape is important. You know, I don't blow up in between fight camps and, you know, get off running and get out of shape and bad conditioning. I think staying in shape, staying on your runs always is important.
So you said that you fight at what weight class?
125.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a comfortable weight for you, or do you have to kind of like work to make that?
Oh, it's comfortable. We don't really cut any weight. You know, I walk around 24, 25. It's, so it's pretty easy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like most people cut some, like you pretty much right there.
A lot of people cut, but we try not to.
Yeah. Is there a reason why you try to fight at your close to your walk around?
We just don't see, you know, the point in cutting weight when I'm good enough to beat everybody at, you know, my walk around. You know
talk
what I mean?
that talk. Like, I like it.
I don't see the reason. So
talk that talk, man. What has boxing taught you about discipline?
It's taught a lot. Just, you know, I think discipline is very important, and having, you know, a schedule and just something to work towards.
Who has pushed you the hardest throughout your journey?
Pushed me the hardest, probably my dad, for sure. I think, you know, he's been there since, you know, day one, the first step, so he's always pushed me the hardest he can to get, you know, help me get better.
Overcoming adversity. So we talked about a few things that I kind of want to dive into more, that I feel like little kids who are starting out, they could definitely take some of this and build on it.
Right.
You lost 9 of your first 13 fights. How difficult was that for you mentally?
You know, it was definitely a tough stretch, you know, to lose that many times, and it was like, it was hard to find motivation to keep going, you know what I mean? Especially being that young at, you know, 10 years old, 9 years old, however old I was.
What kept you going though? What kept you coming back in the gym, working hard?
I just knew the goal, you know, and where I wanted to get to, so I think just keeping that in mind always helped push me and
Did y'all have like some like top guys like in the gym at the time, or?
At the time, I wasn't in Georgia.
Okay, where were you?
I was in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
And I was at a great gym, but there was no really top level guys around me. But I was in the great gym.
What part of Tennessee was it?
Nashville.
Okay. Was that hard for you to come here? Like, was it like a big change?
Yeah, it was a big change.
Culture
We had
shock?
already kind of knew these guys. We had supported them and stuff, so,
Like, was the boxing scene like way different, or was it about the same?
It was a lot different.
How?
There's not much boxing at all.
There?
In Tennessee, there's nothing.
Not in like Memphis either? Like,
Anywhere, Memphis, Nashville, there's
Yeah.
nothing. It's super, super dry.
what kept you from quitting during that stretch?
Man, it was just, knowing the end goal and where I wanted to get to with, the sport. And that just helped keep me motivated, having that in mind, definitely.
Was there ever a moment when you thought boxing just wasn't for you?
There was definitely times, I thought about it. Like I had, at a point during that stretch, taken 6 months off competing totally and just stayed in the gym and trained for 6 months straight, so.
So did you start fighting pretty early, or were you in the gym for a while?
I was probably in the gym for 6 months to 6 to 8 months probably until I had my first fight. So not too long.
So if you had a son, would you keep him out first to kind of like train a whole lot and then put him in there, or would you?
I think I would. I would probably, make sure their skills are good enough and they have enough defense, especially to where I'm comfortable with them in the ring, for sure.
So, defense in the amateurs, right? A lot of the guys just throw a ton of punches.
Yeah.
How do you see them coming, and how do you slip out? To me, like that always like is a fascinating thing. Like to be right in front of somebody and them just can't hit you. How do you see that coming and like you get out the way?
We're really big on defense. I think a big part is just training when you're on the mitts, shadow boxing, to make sure you just build habits of doing defensive moves after you punch. If you throw 1-2 to slip a certain way and keep those habits. And so when it comes out in a fight, you know what to do.
So when you're doing that, is it because you see it coming, or is it because like it's a muscle memory kind of thing?
It's more of a muscle memory thing.
So it's like a guessing almost. Like you can slip into a punch.
Yeah, you could, I guess. But I think for me, it's, memory.
Interesting. Looking back now, are you thankful for those losses that happened?
Yeah, I think I definitely am. I think they, some were against some, really good kids, and I think that experience helped me get to where I am now. So I think those were important for sure.
When you did finally start believing you could compete, when did you finally start believing that you could fight with anyone?
I've thought, I could be in the ring with anybody from day one. That's just me. I've always thought I could, but when I really knew I could was probably when I won my first national, I would say.
Okay.
After that, I probably knew I could.
How old were you when you won that?
I was 11 or 12.
How many fights had you had?
Only 20, 25.
Okay.
Probably, something like that.
So mentally, what clicked in your head when you did win? Like, did you start training harder, or what changed?
I had always been training hard. I think it was just the confidence boost to, get me confident to my abilities, I think.
If you could talk to the 8-year-old Maclin after one of those losses, what would you tell him?
Just keep working, man. I tell him stay consistent, stay in the gym, and just stay focused, and that's it. That's all it is.
If you could if you were him right now, would you believe what you've become?
Nah, I wouldn't believe it at all, but, I'm glad I am where I am, definitely.
Every fighter has to have a rock-solid mindset, right? Because basically every round is a different fight, So, like, you can't be too high in round number 1 because you got in the dang on fights, like when you're a champion, like you got 10 more, right? And even in the amateur, you can't get too high in round 1 because you got 2 more. You got to go just as hard.
Definitely.
With that mindset, what's going through your mind as you walk to the ring?
Man, I used to get real nervous walking down. I used to be super nervous. Not as much anymore. I think now I just kind of know, what I can do, and I trust my skills enough to be comfortable making the walk.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So again, like with that mindset, right? Somebody is on the other side of the ring, 10-time national champion. Do you feel their energy? Like, do you feel them be like, dang, man, I don't know about this? Like, do you feel that?
Nah, man. I get excited for big fights and better guys. You know, I think those fights, you know, make me more excited.
Yeah. So I guess I'm saying is like, do you feel them being more nervous because you are you?
I think some kids you can definitely tell. You know, you can win before you even get in the ring. You know what I mean? Definitely.
So again, we're gonna go back to the beginning, right? With your style, so like you said you got a Manny Pacquiao kind of like really fast style,
right?
I'm assuming. So I haven't seen you fight yet, but I'm assuming that you throw like a whole lot of punches, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever stopped anybody?
Yeah, I've got a couple stoppages for sure.
Okay, so like again, like you're more of a stoppage by just like, it's like death by like 1,000 cuts, right? Just like punch, and then like them just kind of folding.
Yeah, I've got a couple stoppages like that early, mainly early, but I've got some, you know, stoppages where it's a knockdown and the fight's over, stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
Nah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I love to do that, man. That's
so
the best,
like you've had a couple
feeling.
so like at this point, with you being 10-time national champion, you said that you don't even do club shows anymore.
Nah, I try to.
So you're more of a quality over quantity kind of guy right now.
Yeah, I don't I just don't really get up for the club shows anymore. Like,
how many fights have you had?
70 something, around 70 to 80.
Okay. So with those stoppages, have you had any of those on the big stage?
I've had a couple at the nationals, like probably. Yeah, I've had a couple.
That's what's up, man. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
What separates great fighters from good fighters?
I just think the work, you know, when nobody's watching, like who's doing the runs, who's on the diet, who's, you know, doing the little things that nobody wants to do. Because, you know, it's easy to work when you're in the gym and you got your coach watching you and all that type of stuff. I think that's what separates them.
What's one thing people underestimate about you?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would say, man, I think everything, like,
So I guess, like, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
10-time national champ, everything and everything else, like the whole list continues. You think that you're still like an underestimated guy right now?
I think so. I think I'm still better when I get in the ring, you know, than people think. I would say so.
So that means you're still hungry. You still got something to prove.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the biggest lesson boxing has taught you about life?
Just to be humble, you know, take your losses how you take your wins, because, you know, anything can happen, man. It's a fight, you know. You could go on a 10-fight win streak and go on a 10-fight losing streak, you know, that's just how it goes, so.
But, so like, let's just say, like you said, like you in the ring stopping people. What keeps you from getting that big head, right? You know, like what keeps you humble? What keeps you down to earth?
Just because I know, you know, where I came from, losing so many fights and, you know, how it can go. You know, you could lose to anybody. No matter who you beat, you could go have a bad day and lose to the worst kid the next day. So, you know, I always keep that in mind.
So when you're fighting against a guy who's not the best, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to judge anybody, but,
right, of course.
you know, like we still kind of do that though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But when you're in there with a guy who's not a top rated guy, what makes you not slack off?
You know, I try to keep the same mindset for everybody, but it's just because I have lost to kids, you know, who I definitely shouldn't have lost to, and who I am definitely better than, just because I had a bad day or underestimated them, whatever. So that.
If another fighter sees your name in the bracket, what do you hope they're thinking?
Just that I'm coming. You know, I should be the top guy in every bracket I'm in, so I want everybody to know that. So
I'm gonna ask you like one extra question, right? So I was talking to a guy out of, he's in Baltimore. He's been a couple places like this past weekend or whatever. Him and his dad drove down to Philly. The guy he was fighting, like, said he was fighting everything else. When he got there, nobody was there, wasn't answering the phone. Have you ever had like some kind of like that, where like you were supposed to fight somebody, then for whatever reason, the person just kind of didn't show up?
Yeah, I've had, that happen a couple times. Not, too much.
Yeah.
But definitely at club shows especially, you'll see that, for sure.
All right, so here at Box Stock, right, we're dialed into the fighter, your story, but we want this to go past boxing, right? To me, there's a huge void of where every other sport, the guys are signing these massive deals. But in boxing, you're only getting paid and stuff like that when you're getting punched in the head.
Yeah.
That is backwards as I don't know what. So with these brands, right, and with you going forward in your future, what are the biggest goals you're chasing right now?
The biggest goals right now for me is I want to get on Team USA, and get that international experience for sure, and then later down the line, world champ, definitely.
I like it. So with the Team USA, right, have you fought any of those guys who are on that level or guys who are kind of on that level?
I fought guys on that level for sure. I've never fought anybody in the team. I'm too young right now, but I've sparred dudes who are, on that level, definitely.
All right, so speaking of sparring, right? Have you been in a ring with any pros?
Yeah, I've been in the ring with pros.
Any notable names?
Javon Pop Woodard, he's out of Georgia. He's, really good, up and coming. He's starting to make a name for himself. Price Sparrow, prospect. He's like 4 or 5-0. He's great. There's more I'm missing, but yeah, those two for sure.
What will becoming a world champion mean to you and your family?
With me, everything to me, just that being my goal since the start. And then for my family, I think, them watching me come up, it would mean a lot to them too, and everything like that.
Okay, so with me making this Instagram a newer kind of page,
right.
Follow, by the way, Box Stock Media. That's a shameless plug, but I've kind of been seeing, right? So it's some guys who are boxers, but they are doing more kind of reels and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, nothing against that, but social media in boxing is a pretty big deal, right?
Definitely.
Social media is becoming a huge part of boxing. How important is building your brand?
I think it's super important. That's why, I'm grateful for, accounts like you and people like that to help, get my name out there, because I think it's super important from when you are amateurs to when you're pro to, already have a name built so you can have an easier path, especially for the business side of it.
If a sponsor is watching this interview, why should they invest in Maclin Whiting?
I think they should just invest because I'm dedicated. I have the resume, and I've just been dedicated since the start. I don't get into trouble. I'm, not in the streets, nothing like that. So,
okay. So, boxers tend to have, like some kind of like ring name, or they kind of go by something. Do you go by anything, or you just go by Mac?
I just go by Mac, man. I don't have anything yet. I'm still waiting to find one that, fits me and I like,
What kind of companies or brands would you love to represent one day?
Any, man. Big ones like food brands, bro. I like to eat, so those type of brands for sure.
All right, Mac, this has been a great interview so far. I'm thankful to you, your father, your family, and everybody else that's in the gym that let me come in here today to talk to you guys. But I got a couple more questions.
Right.
What's something the boxing world doesn't know about you yet?
Man, I don't know. I just want everybody to know that I'm still hungry, even, with the success I've had, and I'm still working to be even better than I am and just be the best, possible version of myself.
What message would you give a young fighter who's losing more than they're winning?
I would just say stay humble, stay dedicated, keep working hard, stay out of trouble, and that's it. That's all you need.
What do you want your legacy to be when your boxing career is over?
I just want to be known as, the best when I was doing it, when I was in the ring, to be the best and just have a good image of myself.
All right, so for this one, I'm gonna need for you to be on your toes a little bit, right? So these are some questions where you're gonna have to come with it. Finish this sentence.
Yeah.
Success to me is?
Important.
Okay. The last one, Mac. Finish this sentence. The world will remember Maclin Whiting because
I was the best.
I love it, man. I appreciate you coming. Well, I appreciate you letting me come to you guys' gym.
Sure.
Box Stock, where fighters rise in value. And we're out.
That's it.